Morning troops, another day, another drain. Well, not quite. This one's got a lid on it, so I'm gonna have to whiz around and find somewhere else to fish. I mean, there's bits where the you can see there is water, but yeah, most of it's got a lid on it, so only a small lid, but it's, you know, gonna stop me fishing. So let's get cracking, find somewhere else. Morning troops, another day, another drain. What a run around this morning. Out of breath, as always. Well, the plan was, I was working Sunday, so I got all my gear prepped, changed all my traces, make sure all the hooks were sharpened. Because sometimes I recycle hooks, I don't, you know what I mean. There's nothing wrong with them apart from they're a bit blunt and they've been used a few times. The trace gets broken down, the components get reused, so sharpen them, they're as good as gold. So yes, I was all ready. MOT yesterday, so I couldn't go out. So, you know, you're like a little school kid, aren't you? I was thinking, where am I going to go tomorrow? Where am I going to? And so I'd already made my mind up. So I went up to the drain. I was going to fish till midday, and I was going to move to another drain in the afternoon if that hadn't produced a swim that I hadn't fished for about 7 or 8 years. So I was, I was looking forward to it. Got up there. I had a funny feeling because it's very shallow, and they're quite exposed up there. And yeah, they had a lid on. Both drains had a lid on. So I mean, there were patches that had a bit of open water, but not where I wanted to fish. So I had a good drive around, and I've landed up in Old Faithful. In fact, one of my favourite drains. Well, it is my favourite drain. I've had a hell of a lot of big fish out of here. It gets a lot of pressure from all sorts. You know what I mean? So it can be hard fishing, but the rewards can be good. So I'm here, I'm in my swim, got all my rods set up. It's a Lincolnshire drain just outside Boston, free fishing. All you need is your Environment Agency rod licence. It looks like it's going to be a really sunny day today, and Muggins here has left his sunglasses in his work bag, so be a lot of squinting. But you know, I've had one super fast run, electric, while setting up. I thought, whoa, here we go. Nah. Seagull found me bait. So yeah, I had to reposition my left hand rod. The seagull spotted that mackerel straight away. I mean, they're on it, you know what I mean? It's 2 foot deep max. It's clear at the moment, there's not a lot of colour in it, and here he is again. Alright, let me show you the swim. Let me show you where I'm going to catch 5 20s in the next hour. Well, there's my left hand rod. As I say, I've got a whole Joey mackerel. I've actually repositioned it now. It was mid-channel, about 20-30 metres up downstream, but I've had to reposition it because of the old dreaded seagull. So it's just off the marginal shelf now. It's only in about 18 inches, 2 foot of water though. So same produced, I'll have to get it out in the mid-channel. You know, you can't necessarily tell. I mean, I've had pike in 6 to 8 inches of water. I've had them in 50 foot of water. So I'm going to leave it there, as I always do, while I have a cup of coffee and a porridge pot. Look at it now, the frost, the winter colours are really here. I love it. That's my left hand rod, static dead bait, whole Joey mackerel. Middle rod, halfway across, so you can see it. There we are, there's the float. Smack bang, mid-channel, lamprey section presented on a single circle hook. And there's, look, there, where is he? There he is. Look, he's trying to get me baits. He's just had a pop at my right hand rod. I'll have to keep an eye on that. So yeah, that's me middle rod, lamprey section. Be quite camouflaged for a seagull, so he won't probably spot that. But and there's my right hand rod. And it's just off the edge of that tree. Mid-channel though, it's very shallow under that tree. Whole herring, static dead bait, a normal setup with a ledger boom, and the seagull spotted that, so I'll have to think twice. Right down there on the point, you can see the van. There's a guy fishing there, so I can't go too far down. Here, look at this bloody. Look at him. Out to steal me. I'm gonna have problems with him all day now. Now he knows there's baits there. So if you hear me swear, apologies. You know what I mean? Don't want to be losing me dead baits to seagulls. Don't mind if a pike nicks it. Keeps you active, but yeah. Don't want no seagull taking the Michael. I say, look at that, the winter colours today. Amazing. That far bank's got a bit of sun on it, a bit of frost on it. What I should do today, the plan is, if I haven't had anything by midday, I should pack up and go to the drain I went to this morning. This sun would have melted the ice, the lid off of it, and I might fish one of my original swims that I planned to this morning. So, as always, plans remain fluid. You never can tell what you're going to do, how you're going to fish. But at the moment, all 3 rods are out. Let's get some breakfast. That's the initial first half hour, 45 minutes. Nothing to report. So I've had a move around. The float has gone right over to the far side, so that's on that near side margin on the far bank. The left hand rod back out in mid channel. I just have to keep my eye out for the seagulls. And the right hand rod, that's again mid channel opposite that overhanging tree. So the float rod's gone right across. I've got one far side, one middle, and one. The right hand rod is more near side margin than central, so got the whole drain covered. Just need a bit of action. Well troops, 2 hours into the session, not a touch yet. Been moving the baits around every half an hour, recasting, repositioning different parts of the drain, different angles. Not much, not much sign of any fish either. There's no silverfish topping, there's no pike chasing around fry. There's a bit of weed on the deck. So I've moved the baits around a lot, so I'm bringing back a lot of weed in some places. Some places are clear, so I might just pop one up. But the only problem with popping them up is the seagulls will have them straight away. So persevere, keep going, see what we can catch. Well troops, 2 hours into the session. You know it, not a touch. 520s in an hour, did I say this morning? No, well, it's been moving the banks around. Still a fair bit of weed on the deck, so that's not causing a concern. It's not a problem. There's plenty of clear patches. Haven't seen any silverfish topping. Haven't seen any pike thrashing around for fry or anything like that. So just got to keep moving the baits around, trying different spots, work the drain, and hope it pays off. I was going through my phone there about 10 minutes ago, checking my emails and Facebook and stuff like that, and it throws up your memories. And one of my memories was this. This swim 7 years ago apparently. And it was a touch under 17 pounds. So that's 7 years. Just goes to show you, doesn't it? Creatures of habit, both of us and the pike. Here I am 7 years later in the same swim. Didn't expect to be in this swim today, but you've got to make the most of it. There's no point getting despondent and downhearted, or I could have turned around and gone home this morning, but no. I say I shall fish here till midday probably. Never had anything by midday. I shall pack the gear up, get in the car, and I shall shoot back to the drain I was on this morning. It's a lovely sunny day. I'll show you in a second. Behind me it's blue skies, everything. It's beautiful. So even though it's only about 1 or 2 degrees here in the shade, over the far bank there in the sunlight, it's probably 4 or 5 degrees, so I doubt if the other drains will have any ice on them this afternoon, so I'll get an afternoon session in somewhere if I don't catch here. But it's one of these places here, you can sit here for 2 or 3 hours thinking, I've made a mistake, and then bang, 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 3 fish in a row, all mid to high doubles, and you're on cloud 9. So as I say, with 2 hours in the session, we're changing the baits around. Seagulls, a bit of a problem. Just got to wave your landing at them. They soon disappear. And as I said, look at it. Sunshine. Look at it, sunshine, blue skies. So as I say, the ice is not going to... It's their breath. So the ice is not going to stay on the surface of the drains for too long a day. I mean, it wasn't thick, and technically I could have got a landing net out, indoor out, and broke the ice up a bit. But then I run the risk, smashing the pole or whatever into the ice. You run the risk of scaring what pike are there off. So decided to come here. Not regretting it. I never regret any any swim, any drain, any fishing. You try different things. If they work, they work. If they don't, they don't. You put your thinking cap on and think to yourself, right, what can I do differently? What should I have done differently? Could I have done anything differently? There's a whole host of questions that get thrown up at you when you do blank. But sometimes it's just because you're fishing where there's no fish, and there's not a lot you can do about that. Especially piking, it's not like I suppose technically you could pre-bait with a bit of chum, a bit of mashed up fish and that. But for me, pike are, especially this time of year and these weather conditions, they don't want to do a lot for their food. They're the apex predator in the water, in the fish world, and they don't like to work hard for their meals. And my personal opinion is, people might disagree, is if you're putting in free food for them, they ain't got to go looking for your baits, have they? So I'm more down the road of attractants rather than pre-baiting. So liquid attractants, fish oils, stuff like that, visual aids, like the red bait flags, red hooks, flash of colour there. I knew some guy that used to put cut out leaf shapes of aluminium foil and put that on his bait, on his hooks as a bait flag rather than red. He has like flash of silver. So you've got to try all different things. You've got to keep, you've got to keep adapting, keep learning. Otherwise, if you stand still, you get stagnant in your ideas. It affects your catch rate. Says the man that hasn't caught anything for ages. But we got to keep going. I'm quite positive. If I don't catch anything here, I'll catch something in the other drain. I'm not worried. I'll be worried at 4:45. But what we've got to do is, it doesn't matter what type of fishing you're doing, you've got to keep thinking, keep adapting. What can I do differently? What can I try? I mean, some of the things you try might not work, but if you don't try them, you'll never know. I haven't done any zander fishing for a while. But what I used to do with them, I might actually try it, is I used to get the biggest block end feeders you can find and pack it with a sponge. And then what I used to do is inject the Predator Plus and the fish oils into that, and then have that swim feeder on rather than a weight. And that way it's got a liquid attractant in the water around the spot where your bait is. I used to do that quite a lot
when I was lander fishing. I might try that actually. Obviously not today because I ain't got any cage feeders, I ain't got any sponge, but it might be worth a try. I mean, even for, you know, it's got to be worth a try on one rod. You know, just try it out. See, you know, yeah. I mean, your cage feeders have a weight on them anyway, so there's no harm. You could attach that to the bottom of your leisure boon rather than having the weight there. Pack it, so I say, pack the sponge in there, and then you can soak the sponge in your liquid attractant, and maybe that'll bring the fish around. Some other people go the opposite way and try and attract silverfish. So when you're piking, put a little bit of ground bait in there, a little bit of chopped worm, or a few casters and that, or, you know, nothing too heavy. You don't want to saturate the swim, but, you know, try and attract the silverfish there, and if the silverfish are there feeding, then the pike can come along. That's another option. So there's all different ways you can try. I've been rambling on for quite a while now, so let's crack on and see if we can catch some fish. Well, troops, I got a lot of footage in, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this video into 2 parts. So don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you want more videos of me piking. Well, not just piking, but fishing, and I'll bring you the second half real soon.